Hi, I'm Roger.
I'm Erin. And this is Club 888 from the boat. So,
Hmm.
so what brings us here today is the desire to change our lives. And our mission is to help at least one person, if not a whole bunch of people, but understand that it is possible to change your life. So there was a time where I wanted a better life. I know I needed a better life, and I was desperate to have a better life.
I'm being a scotch, aren't I?
Yeah, and, and
I'm having a tough time going into that state of mind today, which is something we're talking about.
so
I was drained over the past couple of days of my energy. We talk about energy. It's tough sometimes. And even when you know how to get it on your own through techniques like breathing and changing your focus, doing exercises, whatever it is, it's tough not to be drained of it when you are around other people who are in desperate need of it.
transference.
Yeah.
The transference of energy is real.
The
Like we were
transference.
talking about last time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty drained. I got home last night and just went straight to sleep and slept for 12 straight hours. Just on a physical level, I was exhausted. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And there was a point in my life where I was completely drained at a level of which it was really difficult to come back from. And it was pretty much because I was making decisions based on another person's actions, which was the draining factor. It was my fault, but yet I let it happen to me and it drained me. And
Now, being in it, were you aware that it was your fault?
no,
Yeah.
it's very, very difficult to understand what's going on, especially when I didn't have the knowledge I have now. And the one thing I kept repeating to myself over and over and over and over again is, I want a better life. 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 And then it became, I'm going to have a better life.
A mission. Yes.
I'm going to have a better life. And then it was the decision of, how am I going to get that better life? Where's it going to come from? What's it going to look like? And that's when the seeking began.
And how do you start, right?
Where do you start?
Step zero.
It's step zero. My life is not good. I'm sorry. My life is awful, and I want it to be better. So you start looking at the things in your life that are bringing it down. And you start to remove those things slowly. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes you're in a relationship. Sometimes you have children. And the decisions you make are based off of other people, but you're still 100% responsible for the decisions. And it brings you to a place where you need a reset.
A huge reset.
But like I said, sometimes it's difficult. You can't get rid of your children. Usually they're not the
You
drain.
can't get rid of your children?
No. You but you can change your stars.
Right.
What are stars?
We're the stars. Right.
What are stars?
Oh, we are the stars. No, what are stars?
We are
stars.
stars.
Are carbon.
I'm the star, she's the star.
Right.
This is a
Star. This is our show.
movie stars. I was
So-
in a movie. Were you in a movie?
I was in a sound stage.
Soundstage?
Yeah.
In a movie?
I auditioned for a movie.
I was in a movie.
What was
Lots
it?
of them. I think the last movie I was in, I forgot the name of it.
Get back to us on that.
Yeah.
So, so back were, we needed to make a huge step in order to get rid of those things, remove those things from our lives and from your life.
From my life, exactly. Oh.
And doing so wasn't easy.
No.
You know?
No, it was.
And a lot of, you know, sometimes drinking is involved, or I don't know about you, but drugs are involved when people are trying to numb out the feelings that they don't know how to get rid of. They don't know how to change their life. So a lot of people drink or do drugs.
Or get into a relationship that is toxic, or work, or have sexual relations over and above the kind of sexual relations a so-called normal person would have, to the point where it's hurting them, or shopping, money,
So addictions.
any kind of thing that can
And that's how addictions,
Fill
most
the-
addictions take place though.
fill the void,
Filling the void.
like a void of like a car with no gas in it. It's just worthless. You can't go anywhere. You're sitting in your car. You have no gas. You see your friends driving around. It just brings you down because they look like they're having a good time driving the car around, but you have no gas. So how do you get some? Well, you can ask one of your friends for some of the gas, and they give it to you. But now they have less gas. So you have to find a way to get the gas on your own. So what does that
Hustle.
entail?
You have to hustle. You have to do the work yourself, you know?
Yeah, but so in a car with no gas, the tank is empty. Can it be less than empty?
Oh, it can definitely be less than empty.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Can you go
Yeah.
negative on gas?
Oh, well, you could have flat tires, so that's kind of less than empty,
All
right? And you could have a, blown radiator,
Yeah.
or, your brakes could go
Yeah.
out.
And then when that happens, what do you have to do?
You need to reach out for help.
You need to fix it.
Yeah, I
So-
would reach out for
So
help.
let's say this car is your human body.
Yeah.
All right, and physically, when you have a flat tire, physically when your radiator's blown, you're broken. You need to be
Broken.
fixed. So
Yeah.
first things first, you get yourself into a place where you can get yourself fixed physically. Maybe the computer's not working right, so the car won't start. It won't send the right
Signal.
signals to the things that need the signals in order to start it. So you get the computer fixed, like your brain. But then you come to your spiritual sense, your emotional level, or your more of a spiritual level where you don't have any gas. Your car is perfect, but it just doesn't go anywhere because you don't have any energy in the tank.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you could borrow it, you could steal it, but most of the time, it just brings someone else down who has it that you stole it from or borrowed it from. So you got to find a way
Yeah,
to
you deplete someone else.
exactly. So you got to find a way to put gas in it on your own, and that is, I want a better life. I want a better life. I want a better life.
I
So
want a full tank of gas. I want a full tank of gas. I want
Yeah.
a full tank of gas.
So let's
and
just
a car
talk.
that works.
Let's just talk about it on a physical, material level. You want to put gas in your tank. What do you need?
Money.
Money. You don't have any money. What do?
Find a job.
That's right. What if no one's going to hire you because you don't have any skills?
You learn a new skill.
You learn a new skill. And then once you've acquired these skills and you get a job, you now have money and you can put gas in your car. You want to go places.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, you got to go to work to earn the money to put gas in the car so you can get to work and back and forth. And make sure that your car runs well so you don't break down again.
Right.
All right. So, in the process of finding that job and acquiring those skills, what have you done?
Put in the effort. Depleted a little energy.
You have validated yourself.
And I validated myself.
Mhm.
And I have validated myself.
Yeah.
And I can do it. And I
Now-
know how to do it now.
Exactly. So, getting a better life leads to
Validation.
validation.
Yeah.
What is validation?
Well, to me, I think validation is being completely fine with who I am and not needing outside sources to let me know that I'm okay and I can do things and I can be proud of myself for the things I've done
And you don't need to borrow gas from
and I don't
anyone
need to
anymore.
borrow gas from anyone.
Or
Right.
steal it.
Or steal.
And so, getting energy for your car, which is having a better life, leads you to finding ways of validating yourself from within.
Yeah. And it's hard though. But you know what? Now speaking on a personal level, because I'm going to do that, trying to find, when I was broken, and no gas, but when I was broken, I found it extremely hard to validate my own self because I was familiar and I was familiar with receiving outside validation from, from other people's value of me and what they thought of me was my validation. And because of that, I wasn't able to have my own validation.
So you were seeking validation externally.
Yeah, because
getting
I
it
didn't
from
know how
other
to gain
people.
it from myself. Yeah, I didn't know how to gain it.
You didn't know how to
myself.
put gas in your tank.
No, I had no idea how to put gas
Yeah.
in my
So,
tank.
so
no.
like a person who is spiritually sick that
Yep.
just can't motivate, doesn't completely devoid of emotions, laying there in their bed saying, "I can't do this anymore," and then they say, "I want a better life." I needed to find a way to put gas in my tank. Is going from seeking external validation to seeking internal validation.
Right. And that's definitely where I was.
Does
I was
does
there.
does external validation lead to a better life?
External validation temporarily if they are helping motivate in the right direction. So,
Yes.
so external can validate for a little while it's holding you on the wing, but it doesn't help forever. So you have to learn to start your motor and get your engine going with the gas that you put in it on your own.
It's about energy.
Yeah.
It's about energy transference. Like if you were to approach another individual and steal their energy from them, or do things that get the energy from them, but that they lack, they then are drawn down, and you keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, you constantly have to find another source to either steal it from or suck it out of.
Right.
And it's a very exhausting thing. You know, very, very time consuming trying to find somebody to borrow gas from or steal gas from.
Yeah.
And so you have to find a way to do it by yourself, self-validate. And yes, you're right. And there are places you can go, especially if you are that low that you can find help where people will love you until you learn to love yourself.
Right. So you want to surround yourself with people, and if you can't find people, there are groups out there. There are self-help groups out there. I know, for instance, CODA. My first group that I reached out to was Codependence Anonymous. It's a 12-step program, but it helped me find validation in myself, and it was so monumental in the transition from seeking outside validation to internal validation.
It helped you to
Become aware of it.
recognize what your issues were that were preventing you from being
Right.
valid.
Mm-hmm. And
Seeking that energy from other sources.
yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea why I was so miserable, why I was so empty inside, and why I kept on seeking outside validation. And it got to the point where I just, I didn't want to go on. So I was desperate to find, want a better life. I want a better life. And I just kept saying that myself. I want a better life. I want a better life. I want a better life.
And on a personal note, I found Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcohol was my solution to that void of emotions. It was the way I shut it off because I wanted a better life and couldn't figure out a way to do it. So in the beginning, I went to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and I just didn't get it. But then over time, I realized that when I was there, the people there, and it was all about the people, loved me even though I was completely devoid of any kind of potential to give them love back in the beginning. And they kept loving me and kept loving me regardless of who I was until I learned to love myself. And in doing that and going through that program, and there are other programs out there for any kind of addiction, even if you don't think you have an addiction, these types of programs help.
Yeah, 12-step programs are very, very successful in organizing your thoughts, organizing your emotional, your spiritual self. It really does, make you become aware that, there is something so much deeper than what we're aware of that we can actually fix to become the best version of ourselves.
Exactly. And these programs, that 12-step program Aaron spoke about, is a system, regardless of where you go into it, is a system where you have other people's energy fed to you until you're able to find a way to get that energy yourself without stealing it from another human being. Figure out a way to get it internally. And the only way you're going to do that is by, using these 12-step programs. Not the only way, but using the 12-step program, the system, it clears you out. Let's say you have water flowing through a pipe and there's a blockage and the water won't flow anymore, and that's what you need to get the gas. It would just, let's say the hose won't put the gas into your car.
But I'm trying,
Yeah.
and it just won't go through.
So the 12-step system will help you to clear that pipe out to get the flow going again. So that way you can get, and let's just bring it back down to the love. You need the love, your pipes are blocked. The 12-step program is a system to unblock your pipes. So that way you can flow this love that you need so desperately, that people will give to you while your pipe is blocked.
And love is something that you can share. The energy, the frequency of love is something that you can share. So you can actually spare a little for your friends when they're in dire need of this help and seeking help. It's to surround yourself. Once I went through this 12-step program and I was able to recognize how to bring my frequency up to a higher level into my consciousness, recognizing how I could do it and how I could help others do it, it was
Amazing.
amazing. It was one of the best feelings that I could possibly imagine. But just becoming aware of it, that you could share this frequency, this love. Everybody can
Channel
share
it,
love.
channel it, and give it out freely, because you know a way to get it freely without taking it from another person.
Yeah, no, I used to think that, like, when people spoke about, oh, love, I used to be like, oh my God, they're freaks. But
So many different types of love too.
But
Many different levels.
But
we're talking about the unconditional type.
Unconditional type of love that we are able to share with each other when we see another individual in pain, hurt, suffering, seeking help. That's the key, though. When they're seeking help, when they come into this program, either 12-step programs or to us just personally, and once they're actually looking and seeking for a better life or a better way to do things, or how do I get like you, or how do I increase my energy, how do I look at things different, and when we're able to explain to them that how it actually works, that we can actually share this frequency with each other, and we can share it to them until they can actually raise it themselves by working on themselves.
All right, so when that person gets to that place in their life where they say, I've got a problem,
Yeah.
and it needs to be fixed, and I'm going to do something about it, what is that?
That is, I want a better life.
I want a better life. Or a better way to say it, we spoke about the 12-step program. What step is that?
Just admitting that you are just powerless over.
No, not even there yet.
Okay.
Not even there yet. What is that step? I
Acknowledging.
want a better life. It's
Acknowledging?
step
What?
0.
Oh, step 0.
That's right. It's a tough one. Not a lot of people know about step
Yeah.
0, but step 0 is one of the most important steps. It's the one you make on your own, by yourself. You acknowledge to yourself that there's an issue here and I need to do something about it in order to have a better life.
Yeah.
That's step 0. Now we talked about a 12-step program. That's step 0. You do it on your own before you get into the 12-step program. Whether this 12-step program is right for you, that's up to you when you go through it. But we'll talk more about that. There's a lot of issues in the 12-step program which keep people out and from participating in them because of the actual words inside of them. But we'll get into that as well, because that was one of the things that kept me out of it for a very long time, or at least kept me from clearing my pipes
Yeah.
to channel this love.
Yeah.
Which now,
everybody has to learn it on their own, in their own way that they think too.
Yep.
You know, that, like we were talking about last time. You know, we all
everyone
think
thinks
with
with their own mind. Yep.
So.
And we also think with our own minds based on the society of which we live.
Which could make it difficult when, you know, we could appear weak or, you know, inferior
Ashamed,
if we have to actually reach out.
showing weakness, showing shame, showing any one of these things. And by
or-
the way, shame, frustration, anger, fear, all have a frequency or a vibrational frequency or a hurt. It hurts. And that was the
my heart.
quartz. That was the quartz.
It didn't break. My heart didn't break.
Not that one. No way.
Resilient. I'm resilient.
Now
Well,
you're.
what are the frequencies for those fear?
Fear is at about 150 hertz.
Yeah, very low
Low
level
frequency. But the funny thing about frequencies is you can have a lower frequency and still have goodness come from it. I hate to use the word good. You can have
Positive vibes.
positivity come from it. In a vacuum, meaning when I say in a vacuum, when everything is equal, there is no religion, there is no society, there is no government, there is no standard, there is nothing at all, and that frequency is in your life, you will have some sort of positive reaction to it. Now, as you go up the scale on frequencies or down the scale on frequencies, certain frequencies are going to be triggering fear, anger, hurt, shame, frustration, anxiety, all these things. But then they also have other frequencies very near to them that are going to trigger positive things. Like a big discussion that has been had over many, many years is the frequency of 432 hertz. It is one of the frequencies that is used by classical composers to tune their instruments.
And not doctors, but like spiritual healers to
Yeah,
to heal.
many different aspects. But one of the most important things about the 432 hertz frequency was tuning instruments. But there was a big discussion that said 440 hertz was the proper one because 432 is a difficult number to remember. I don't know exactly what the discussion was, but there was something said later on about the 440 hertz frequency that the music companies that of more recent times were using this 440 hertz frequency to provoke their customers who were listening to the music to be angry.
Oh wow.
So something so close, only 8 hertz away, can actually provoke anger versus 432, which can produce attuneness, in-tuneness with nature and love and all these other things, healing. Yeah, so it's amazing how close you can be
To
from anger and love. And
so apathy and empathy very close as well, right?
exactly, very close in frequencies.
Yeah.
And it is something, and it's kind of funny in that way, because that distance is as simple as a choice.
True.
You can
and that's
be
the choice that you need to make, that I needed to make when I said I repeating it over and over and over. I want a better life. I want a better life. I want a better life.
And what else did I say? Tell yourself you're going to have a better life.
And tell yourself you're going to have a better life.
Why?
Because you speak yourself
Even if
into
you-
existence.
Even if you don't believe that you're going to have a better life, especially in the mindset you're in, if you keep telling yourself you're going to have a better life, you start to program or reprogram your brain, which is telling you that you're never going to have a better life.
Almost like the lie becomes the truth.
Exactly. You keep lying to yourself, and that lie becomes the truth. If you keep telling yourself something, if you keep telling yourself, I'm no
good. Right.
I'm a loser. I'm never going to have a better life. I'm never going to have this. It's never going to happen. It's always going to be awful. Why is this happening to me? You're going to continue to go in that direction. I'm a loser. You're going to become that loser that you say you keep saying yourself that you are.
Wow. Something just clicked.
What?
Some people that I had associated in my past and that I needed to get away from, they kept telling themselves how great they were and how proud of themselves they were, but they weren't good people. A lot of the people that I hung out with weren't good people, but and I didn't realize that when I was there, but they kept telling themselves that they were good, so they really believed it, and I believed it. So, but reality was they weren't good, and I was in a situation I believed the lie. So I came to a realization just now.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You keep telling yourself over and over.
So you're learning.
I am definitely learning.
Even today, you recognize something from your past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that brings us back to one of the quotes I think we have on a short out there about duality,
Oh yeah.
right? Think about it.
I come to here and here we are.
When if you believe in your mind that you're a loser, let's just use that for lack of a better term. If you believe that, but you keep telling other people that you're not,
Yeah.
that's the duality.
Oh yeah.
You act as if.
They actually thought they were.
What?
They actually thought they were.
Yeah, they actually thought they were. They were doing it
Great.
for
They thought they
their
were great.
benefit to other people, but I'm sure when they were alone in their own thoughts.
I don't know. I tried to believe in it for a little
Of course,
while.
like I said, it's we all think with our own minds. So, if you're not a liar and somebody is lying to you, do you think that they're lying to you?
Nope.
That's another thing right there. If you are trustworthy and another person is not, do you think you shouldn't trust them?
No.
Yeah, you trust them.
Right. I
Because-
trust everyone.
Yeah.
And that's to a fault sometimes, because again, in situations where I trusted everyone, and that situation, I think with my own brain. I
if
had
you
no
are-
reason not to. But
if-
once I did find a reason not to, then all of a sudden the tables turned, and that's when the red flags start popping up, and that's when the conflict starts, and the duality.
The
Right?
duality.
Inside my brain
Yep.
started like, wait, do I trust this person or not? I am trusting, and I do trust, but it's just been proven that it wasn't. So
And that's why there's that saying, that doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
it does make you stronger because
Yeah.
it makes you aware of the things that go on, and even if you try to prove that, that point, that you're lying to me, and they continue to do it. There's a point where you don't have to prove it to anyone because you know in yourself and you know in your head. And would you rather be right or happy? Is the saying too.
But what is it that you're looking for when you confront them?
Validation.
Exactly. Validation. Is that internal or external validation?
Oh, that's internal validation.
Well, if you're looking at them
And I want
to
them
tell
to
you
see how right I am. I'm right because I
That's-
caught you in a
that's
lie.
external
Yeah.
validation.
External validation.
If you were internally validated and you believed in yourself and you loved yourself,
Right.
and a person lied to you, at least you thought they were lying to you, would you question them about lying to you? Or would you just say, I don't need this person?
I don't need this person.
Yeah. And if you start questioning that they're lying to you, more than likely they are.
And you don't have to say
Because-
anything except for turn around and walk away at this point.
Well, let's bring it back down to let's bring it back down to the frequencies.
Okay.
So, if your mind is a receptor of frequencies. And certain frequencies bring up certain emotions like anger and hate and fear and anxiety. Then when somebody lies to you, they're coming at you with a certain frequency, right? And you believe that they're lying to you. You pick up on that frequency, although you have no idea what's going on. Because we're connected regardless. I might be this far away from you, but we're connected. If I put my hand right here, you could probably feel the heat coming off of it.
I do.
And I didn't even touch you.
What?
There is a connection, no matter what, and that is an interconnectedness with everything in the universe. So if that person lies to you, you feel it, you know it. And when you know that, when you are internally validated and you trust everything about what's going on in you, and someone lies to you, and you get that little bit of oh, they're lying to me, you don't have to question it, you just walk away.
Yeah.
Because, but...
I'm very familiar with that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the big difference between seeking external validation and being internally validated. Internally validated means you know what's going
You
on.
just walk away. Yeah. I get you now. Yeah.
You don't need to know that they're lying to you.
Because you already know it.
Through their admission for external validation of you, it's just you know it and you walk away.
Yes.
And then you don't get back into a situation like that again.
I will never get back into a situation like that again.
Hey guys. Hey. Just in time. Looks like it might rain.
So.
Oh, and it's so amazing how frequencies factor into every little thing that goes on in our life. Frequencies, which can also be emotions. And I just came across something just before when we were looking at that video, the Hertz frequencies.
Oh.
And they have a
Put it on
mechanism.
the plate?
Well, there is a mechanism that can break the frequencies into different components, like each one, right? Like we talk about anger being at 150 and love being at 888, abundance of love being 888, and everything in between, like 532, which is the beginning of self-love. Self-love unconditionally is when you achieve that level, 888, and you have an abundance of it, and you're able to give it back. But there is every other frequency in between. That's like light. Light can be broken down into 7 different colors. What
That's
colors?
7 different frequencies, right? The rainbow of colors, right?
Rainbow of colors. What is light?
It's energy.
Where does it come from?
The sun.
Okay, and the sun vibrates, right?
The sun does vibrate at a frequency of
500.
528.
528. That's right.
I thought it was 423.
432?
432.
The sun vibrates. That's something we have to check on.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
check that.
There's a lot of different frequencies,
Frequency.
and we like to fact check in the moment. I believe it is 528. Aaron believes it's 432.
It says 340 trillion hertz, but it says, oh, let's see. I think I'm not on the right.
Did you say frequency of sun?
What hertz does it say? It says 126.22, but that video that we were watching before, it said 423, 432. Right?
All I need is love and a sunset. That's amazing. Here, just go back to
The sun. There you go.
yeah.
Has a connection to the sun. That's because the sun has a measurable sound emitting from it at 528 hertz.
Woo!
Over time,
You
scientists...
got that. 528.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
528.
That's love.
And
sun,
when-
light,
and-
light rays.
Does the sun give you or create any vitamins in your body?
Yeah, the sun does. Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
D.
That's the one we're completely aware of. What is vitamin D then?
Oh, vitamin D powers our bones and it gives our bones calcium.
A whole bunch of different
Yeah.
things. But vitamin D is like the love vitamin.
I love vitamin. Loves our body.
And the reason we were talking about the sun being at 528 hertz is because it shines down on us and loves us. And to channel this love, we give it to other people if we know what to do and how to do it by keeping our pipes open, by going through a system in order to clear our stuff out so we can channel this freely, accept it, channel it, give it. That's right.
Yeah, but going through that, going through.
You can hold it,
Going
and you can
through,
give it.
Yeah,
I just got chills.
that's because it's happening. Because you actually feel it.
It's awesome.
So the system that we use is really digging into who we are as people,
Exactly.
our subconscious minds, and in order to have a better life, we really needed to dig deep.
Dig what?
We need, well, in some of the programs, of the 12-step programs, they're called character defects. And once we become aware of the character defects that are in our subconscious mind, it's the way we react to things subconsciously. It's just instilled in us.
It's the way your brain is programmed.
Programmed, right.
By your upbringing, by things that have happened to you,
By
things
society.
by things that haven't happened to you in the society in which you live.
Right. But it's an automatic response at our age, or even younger. It's an automatic response because that's what you're used to doing, reacting in situations a certain way, and
It kind of cuts a groove into your emotional, spiritual, and physical
so
being.
so when you work these systems and you do get in touch with, or you figure out what makes you click and why do you do the things and why do you want to numb out your emotions because you don't like the way you feel.
And sometimes people will say, I'm stuck in a rut. And that rut is that groove that's been cut into your system for a very long time. And your brain is in its comfort zone in that rut.
That's a subconscious action. It's a subconscious reaction.
That you do automatically based off of the society of which you were inflicted with since you can remember.
So in order to have the better life that we desired, we had to bring the subconscious mind to the conscious mind.
Exactly. And we had to undo and retrain a lot of what has happened
The thought patterns.
in our brain since we were, cut into this toxic, or I shouldn't say toxic, but into this rut that we're in.
It's
Like a groove on a record. You needed to stop the skip of the skip. You kept going right back to the same old thing. You needed to cut that groove, a new one, so your record can continue to play.
or sand it out a little bit.
But it takes a little bit of a reset, and that's what a 12-step program can do. It can reset the system of your beliefs so that way you can have
A better life.
a better life.
And it definitely works because I thought that I was a goner. I really thought I was a goner. I didn't think that there was any reason to live. I have 2 children, beautiful children. Roger has 2 beautiful children too. But, I was so desolate and so empty and void of any energy, of any life, that I wanted, I couldn't even see how important, the importance of that was at that moment because I was so void. And, a lot of things in my life led me to that point. But, and I could say on a personal level, grief contributed to it highly. I didn't know how to deal with grief, and now I know how to deal with grief, and learning how to deal with grief through this 12-step program, I had no idea that was what it even was that brought me to such despair. So, I'm super grateful that, I was able to become aware of this through these programs. And
Yeah, and just like I said, I had a big chip on my shoulder, and I think Erin also had a big chip on her shoulder when it
Huge.
came to anyone who mentioned a 12-step program.
yeah,
But to kind of put it quickly, for anyone out there who is considering that or is in it and wants, a little bit of an abbreviation to help them explain what a 12-step program is basically the beginning of it is step 0. It's saying you want a better life. Then the 12-step program gives you a path or 12 steps to a better life. The beginning of the steps, you let go. Let go of trying to make your life better without the help of other people who have the energy to give you. So you let go. You say, okay, fine. I'm not doing what needs to be done in order to have that better life. Yeah, great. You made a step 0. You said you wanted a better life. Then you decided you're going to somehow get that better life. The beginning of the steps has you let go. Let go to the group, whatever's out there. Say, I'm not doing it the right way. Then the second part.
I think you need an open mind too. Like the realization of letting go and just having your mind wide open to possibilities of anything.
Oh yeah, once you let go, then you say, I'm not in control. Whatever I'm doing is not working for me, and I want a better life. So you let go. You say, okay, fine. The second part of the steps, this program, is clearing out your closet of all the skeletons and whatever it is that you have in there.
Or the subconscious reactions too.
The subconscious reactions, which is the grooves and the ruts that you have, the way that you've trained your brain your entire life.
To be and to behave.
You have to of all the things that have happened, whether good or bad in your past, that you keep reliving in your brain, these things that just keep you going in the same exact pattern over and over again, you need to clear that out. You need to get rid of all that stuff. Start fresh.
Yeah, little by little, it happens. Little by little, you acknowledge what is a normal reaction in the past is not going to be a normal reaction in the near future.
Yeah. It's recognizing that your reactions were a product of the society of which you were raised in, and you need to change your brain. You need to reprogram it and to have that better life. The third part of the steps, there's 3 parts, major ones: letting go, clearing yourself out, and the third part is giving it back to somebody else who needs help.
And I think that's a really important step, because if you don't give back to somebody else what you learned and were so desperate to have in your life in order to receive the better life that you want, if that person wasn't there, guiding you on your journey.
The person who's giving back to you when you first come in and you have no gas in your tank, that person giving you the gas, when you're
paying it forward.
When your pipe is clogged and somebody else just keeps giving you the gas that you need in order to get to that place, once you let go, say, okay, fine, I'll take your gas. You let go, somebody's helping you, freely giving you the gas while you reprogram your brain to the place where your life becomes better, and then you give it back to somebody else who needs that gas, who has that clogged pipe, and you help them to unclog their pipe so that way they can have a better life. And that leads us to our next topic next time, which is paying it forward, giving it back, helping other people, the meaning of life.
The meaning of it all, the meaning of passing the love.
Why are we here? What's it all for?
The importance of giving it to somebody, and what it is that we're actually giving to somebody too.
And what we're getting back from it. And giving, and why giving unconditionally without expecting in return is the meaning of life. And
in the beginning of the program that I actually was in, I was like, there is no way I can give back to anybody. I don't want to do this for anybody. And towards the end of this learning how to give back, I was more than willing to give back to anybody who wanted to reach out to me and say, hey, I want a better life. What did you do? I was more than willing. I would move heaven and earth to give back to whoever asks. So.
And having a better life takes a lot of reprogramming, And the meaning of life, if you ever asked yourself, what am I here for? What's it all for? Why am I here? Well, we plan on giving you that answer, but in order to really get there and understand it and really believe it yourself, there's a lot of reprogramming that needs to be done. Not in a bad sense. Not in a way that we're looking to make you into a drone or an automaton doing exactly what you're told and just falling into line. No way.
A robot.
No, we want you
AI.
to understand what that means and go from there.
Yeah. And you will. You'll love it. You'll love being where
Yeah,
it brings you.
that's so
So.
funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Right now, the powers that be in the world, it's all about love.
It's all about love. Love.
Thank you very much for joining us once again. I am Roger. This
And
is
I'm
Aaron, transmitting from Northport, New York, Northport Harbor. Thank you very much, and we love you.
Thanks for showing up.